Greetings. Again, we're not in the lab. We're in the back cave. We're in the back cave. And yes, the guest tonight, I might go and say he's a special guest, but I don't necessarily want to do that because we're doing something. And tonight is about the book. This evening is about the book. Now, some of y'all, when y'all hear the book, automatically, some of y'all from Savannah, y'all think it's from around the Thai country. When y'all see something tied to Savannah about the book, it's Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. That's what you think about. We ain't talking about that. There's another book that I'm not classifying as being the book. And he might gonna say it's the books.
That's correct, books.
The books. And so tonight on Run Tell That, we have the president of ATR, Our Black Media Network, Our Black Media Channel. That's all things relevant. We have the co-founder of it all. That is Julius Hall, Mr. Brother Julius Hall. Glad to have you here, Julius Hall. That's what I normally want to say to you. Glad to have you here.
Well, I am glad to be here. I am so glad to be here. It's a happy feeling to be here with you today, my brother.
Reverend Betty Jones, we're glad to have you too, Reverend Betty Jones. But Reverend Betty Jones, I'm going to let you know you're a great supporter of ours. I'm not happy right now, Reverend Betty Jones, because in this book, I'm just going to get it on out the way. That's what we got. That in the book, when y'all read this book, Julius Hall has written a book. He's written 2 books. You got 2 different versions of one of the books. You got a PG version and an X-rated version. It seemed to be, it's called, what is it called? I'm gonna let you go. What's the name of the book?
Crossing the Line.
It's the Julius Hall story. It's like a Lifetime movie right now. It is like a Tubi movie. That's what's about to happen. That's why I know that's what's about to happen. And go ahead, the other one.
It's The Journey.
And what
this is my book of poetry.
It's his book of poetry. Julius Hall says that he's been writing poetry since he was in school. When he was like an adolescent, he's been writing poetry.
That's correct.
Now, not that I find that hard to believe, but I'm going to say this to y'all. I'm going to get it all out the way right now. When y'all read, because it was Councilman Thomas Barbie of Port Wentworth who said something to me. He had read the book and he said, "You're in the book." So I'm thinking that I'm in the book. I'm acknowledged. Probably, how you do the acknowledgments and other stuff like that. Thank you. So that's what I thought. That's what I had thought. Then he like, it's in a chapter. So I'm like, it's in a chapter. I'm like, wow. I was like saying to myself, wow, it's in a chapter. So I can, my mind is like, it was like, it was, dancing sugar plums going around my head. I'm like all excited about like dancing sugar plums. So, I'm like, yeah. Then I like begin reading something about free. I'm like, whoa, he got free. I'm going back in time. Free. I'm like reading it. Then I continue reading. Then I was like about the Controllers concert. I'm like, okay. I'm like, wow, he's really going back. Then I started reading some other stuff. And then I heard, and some people had not said to me, you cost Julius Hall $20,000.
That's correct.
I'm like looking at like, what the word? I'm like, so people now saying you cost him $20,000.
You did because you were promoting the concert, and I had to go out of town, and you were the promoter. You were the vice president of student government affairs at Savannah State back then, and you and the company that I was with, Free Incorporated, which was me and a bunch of other 8 police officers and 2 of their brothers. It was 10 of us. We partnership with you all to bring the controllers here. And you were supposed to get out the crowd. You were supposed to rally the crowd, get the students out there to pay that money to come see that concert, fill the whole stadium up. 2 things happened. You didn't do the job, and it rained.
So I see they're going to stick to it. So I just want to let y'all know.
It's in the book.
It's in the book.
It's a true story.
But it wasn't me.
True.
It wasn't me. Just to say, it wasn't me. And so we're gonna move on into this, right? We're just gonna roll into it because again, I had to get that off my. I had to get that off my. I had to get it off my chest. So again, because I know y'all, everybody looking at people looking at me kind of funny that they like, oh, he cost him, and they be calling out the owner. They be like, Claude cost him. They be called. So they got all the business right now. So Julius Hall, we're gonna say this to you. What moved you to write the book? Now we're gonna say what moved you to write the book.
Well, I'm gonna tell everybody what moved me to write the book right after I tell them this. It's evident that that is true in the book, because what happened was we were looking for him to sue him because of what he had caused my company. And so he went from being Claude Lee, and we couldn't find him to serve him. Now his name, if you can look on the thing, it said Jamal. Amir Jamal Torre. We did not know that he had changed his name to an African name. So we couldn't find him. So he knew that he was going to be sued. He was a senior out of Savannah State. So guess what he does then? He goes to damn law school. He goes to law school so we can't sue him, so he'll know how to defend himself. Anyway, read the book, people. I'm telling you. The story is right there in here about Jamal Torre, a.k.a. also known as Claude Lee.
I can't wait for the movie. I can't wait for the movie. I can't wait for the Lifetime movie or the Tubi movie. I can't wait for the movie or the Netflix film. I can't wait for it. I can only imagine that I can just sit there and my daughter gonna probably like, Daddy, so yeah. But go ahead, yes, sir.
Yeah. She'll see who her daddy was. Mm-hmm. So what inspired me to write the book was I was sitting back with a lot of time, and I realized that when I look back over my life, that it was kind of interesting. So I said, you know what? Here's a rags to riches. Well, not real riches, but you know how he's mediocre. Rags to riches to rags to riches story. Rich as in your life being meaningful, not rich as in having a whole bunch of money. And so it was a rags to riches to rags to riches story. And so we're in the full phase of it now. So I'm saying, at the time it was still rags when I wrote it, but I knew that if I ever had a chance that I could make my life meaningful again. So I say, let me write the book now. And, this is the two books. I wrote them I've been writing this book all my life. Since I was in 8th grade, I've been writing poetry. And I had a teacher, Miss Ethel Lambert, that just told me that I was going to be a writer. And here it is, 50 years later, I'm a writer. 48 years later, I am that writer. But she told me, she said, you have great penmanship and you tell a great story. She said, you're going to be a writer. That's Miss Lambert, Ethel Lambert. She was my homeroom teacher, okay. and my English teacher, I believe. I think one of the two. I had her in homeroom, and then I had her for a class later on. And so I that book, The Journey, this is my journey. This is the poetry that I've written over the course of my life. Then this book, this is where I figured that I would tell my story. Mm-hmm. I've started on book 2 to this. This is part 2, because this only goes from when I was born until the day that I was released from prison. And that's where this goes. So I have to write from when I came home to tell the story now.
Okay.
So this book is full of explicit stuff. So there's 2 versions, like you said. You got one version where you can get the PG version, which is less sexual content. And then you have the rated R version, which is a whole lot of sexual content, about 15 more pages than the first book. And it's $30 for this book, plus $3.92 shipping and handling if we have to mail it to you. And it's $20 for the less sexual content, plus $3.92 to mail it to you if we have to mail it to you. But you can get these books at ATR Media Group, atrmediagroup.com, www.atrmediagroup.com. We'll put it in the in here after a while, and you'll be able to see it. All right. But any other questions that you got that I can answer without defaming you and you have to sue me?
Oh no, we it's all good. I already got it out, and you came with stuff, and that's why right now I'm sitting here saying, my God, Vivica Fox is about to get with him. He's going to negotiate with Vivica Fox, and they're going to have a Tubi movie, and we just going to be. They're going to probably have a watch party. We're going to sit right there, and I'm just going to be just like looking. I can only imagine Charlie Brown going to have Denzel playing him. I don't know. Morgan Freeman is going to play Bernard Brown. That's young Bernard Brown, middle-aged Bernard Brown, and Bernard Brown today. That's going to be Morgan Freeman doing him. So I'm just throwing that on out there.
Who's going to play Charlie Brown?
I thought you said Denzel. Charlie wanted Denzel to play him. So But then later, I think he did go say he wanted Bill Dukes. Bill Dukes is alive. People think Bill Duke is dead. Bill Duke is alive. Bill Dukes is alive. So I guess that'll be Charlie Brown. So with regards to that, we're gonna say often some people think that their lives are not important and that their stories are not important. And I've said this at times to folks. I say you got a story that needs to be told, and that how do you deal with that person who feels that their story is not important? They may not have, say, the rags to riches story, but just in general, how do you get that person to understand the value of their own story and that something should be done about it or told?
Yeah, well, everybody's story is important. It's just whether you want that story to be told or not. But your story is just as important as anybody else's story. You just got to take the time to tell your story. You have to take the time to write your story. If you can't write it, then you need somebody to ghostwrite it. I've been writing all my life. I write several columns now. I used to write for a newspaper. I've been in several magazines with my poetry. Even while I was locked away, my poetry used to appear in national publications. I used to see these poetry contests and enter them. And I'm in several books in the libraries across the world for my poetry. I just ain't never told nobody, but my poetry was awarded to be in several books. I guess that's why somebody called me an acclaimed author. Or renowned author, whatever he called me. I said, hell, I ain't got no money from it. I guess just being acclaimed, I guess just the status. I don't know how.
All right. And so now y'all got Reverend Betty Jones. Even y'all got Reverend Betty Jones saying that she had heard the excerpts from Councilwoman Alicia Miller Blakely, and that it sounds almost like it'll be a great soap opera. Again.
You're right, Dr. Betty Jones. It probably will be a good soap opera, but it's hard. It's hard. We got the I don't know. I think it'll make a better movie.
And with that, you can have a lot of what they say literary license, with regard to that. And so I can only imagine if that was to occur, the type of literary license that will come about, that will probably be shattering people's minds. Again, Sister Deidre Murray, glad to have you here, and everybody checking out the show. And we say share. Everyone share. And so we come to this part right here, Julius Hall. What are some of the highlights in the book that you want the audience to get? What are some of the highlights? Because we're not trying to tell you to give it all out to the people, because we want them to buy the book. But what are some of the highlights in the book that you like? You just like, man.
Well,
did I really do that? Like how you lied on me. But anyway,
no, not that. That's not. I didn't lie.
Okay.
I didn't lie on you.
Right.
If they read the book, they'll see. They can research it themselves.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I had to grab myself.
But I had a call, a conversation with a young lady who had brought the book. She was one of the first people that brought the book, and she says she brought the book for a reason. She wanted to see what she knew my ex-wife that had gotten killed. And she said that until she read the book, and it's a true story, she said until she read the book, she thought that I had killed her. She thought that I committed the murder until she read the book.
Okay.
You know, and I'm wondering, you know, I don't know how nobody could think that when there was a investigation. I was home in bed. The person who killed himself, and he called her mother and told her he was about to do it. So, you know, it just wasn't a lot of
publicity, fanfare.
For people to look into it to see what really happened. But no, I was not involved in that. That's the last thing that I would do in this world. Yeah. But that's one of the highlights. And, you know, I'm not going to talk about the sexual escapades. That's not any highlights. Y'all buy the book, buy the rated R book if you want to see that. If you don't, well, then get the PG version of it. And it's way less. And so some of the names were changed to protect people from being put in the book, but it's my story. They can write their own book if they want, if they got a different version of what I said. Some of the names have been changed only really for mostly for the women, but there are some people that did some drastically things to me that I put them in the book. And Alicia tried to out them last night on her show. But but you know, we're gonna leave it there. I said what I said. I did what I did. You know, one of the questions people have for me, and they see me now today, that they think that I should be ashamed of something.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, how the hell can you want me to continue to pay for something that I've already paid the price for? You know, one woman said, she told me, she said, you walk like you are MF. You know, I said, I have to. I say, because see, I can't let nobody think any lesser of me. I can't let nobody control how I operate. I run me. I am the captain of my ship.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't let you figure that you have something on me that's going to hold me hostage. Ain't no hostage taken over here.
Okay.
Once paid, a debt is no longer a debt. I paid my debt. So I don't owe nobody. I walk in a room and I own the room. I don't care who in the room. It could be Obama. It could be Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. It could be the king and queen of England. They are not more important than me when I enter that room. I am the most important person in any room that I am in.
Okay.
Any room. And I show it because you're going to see that's how I act. It's not going to be no little meek running in the corner, hide, wondering if anybody watching me. All eyes are on me. I'm that guy. So that's just the way it is.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do, Mr. Producer, we're going to go to a commercial. We're going to go to a commercial and come back and continue this conversation about the book, the books, the book.
Let me see where the commercial, where they at. Okay, here she go.
Greetings and greetings. We are back here. We are back here. We're not in the lab. We are here in the back cave. And we have with us Julius Hall. He is the author of 2 books. And we say to all of you, support our advertisers. Our advertisers, that's One Price Cleaners. That's located in the farmers market in Garden City, One Price Cleaners. In addition, we say support Shepherd's Food and Gas, located at Styles of Gwinnett Streets here in Savannah, Georgia. And then also support Kim's Cafe at 714 MLK Jr. Boulevard. And finally, support the attorneys that I will get to sue Julius Hall for the book, Davis Johnson Bozeman Law Firm, with offices in Savannah and Atlanta and Statesboro. I'll go to either one of them. Because again, but anyway, because again, I got to catch myself. I got to bring it on down. So I'm going to throw it out there with regards to this, Julius Hall. Crossing the line. Why that title, Crossing the Line? What does that mean? Someone says crossing the line for you, crossing the line. What is that about?
Well, the crossing the line, the definition I came up with it because I was vested with a oath to keep. And as a former police officer, an officer at that time, I had an oath to keep. And I crossed that line. And you always say, as a police officer, you don't want to cross the line between good and bad. So that's where the title comes from for the book, Crossing the Line, because I have to admit that I did cross the line. You know.
And I say this because I throw that out there to you with regards to this, because you said something as before we went to the break, that again, that your debt has been paid, that you have paid your debt. And with that debt being paid, that you will no longer let somebody still hold you down. Because so often in life, what we deal with, and I'm saying to some of y'all out there checking out the show, you know how it is when you have family members, you have friends, you have people that you know, you went to school with, and that let's say that they become dependent on substance abuse. They engage in alcohol abuse, or that they may have done certain things with their bodies when they're out there. And that how some of us become so unforgiving that we continue to hold that against those people, even though they may have done a 180 regarding their lives, and that they have made the transition with regard to that, and they have gone forward. So that's why I wanted to say, when you were discussing, I'm like saying that's what it is. And so crossing the line is a part of that, but then also understanding, you then threw it out there about the oath that you understand that comes into play. And I'll go and say this, and again, because I'm keeping it under control, the person who told me that I need to still go and talk to Julius Hall, was Vic Cooper. Vic Cooper told me, because he was like, Vic Cooper's the one, Julius is back, talk to Julius. I was like, I'm not talking to Julius. Julius got free, and they ain't gave me none of my money in my investment yet. So I want that to be known right now. I got money that I ain't got for free. I ain't collect no money for free. So again, charge $20,000. I can only imagine with free, but I got to catch myself. I forgot. This run tell that I'm supposed to be better. I'm not supposed to be like Bernard Brown and Julius Hall and these other people and Charlie Brown now, not like Robert Bryant. I'm not supposed to be like them, because the only sensible people on the rabble are, I'm going to call it Chandra McKeithen, and in addition, Tiffany, and also Councilwoman Tiffany, Commissioner, that is, and also Sean. Otherwise than that, the rest of them, I'm not supposed to be like them. I'm better than that. I am better than that.
Well, that's on the rabble next. All those hosts he just called out. He's not better than that. He's the trouble starter out of everybody. He starts all the trouble with everybody. He makes up things and makes people believe that it is true. So he is the trouble starter. He's the rabble rouser. So that's why he's in the book. See, he's still sitting there lying now, and he didn't do his job. Read the book. I'm telling you. He did not do his job.
As Vic said, don't worry about your investment for free. Julius is back. So I'm like, I said, I still got free in my mind. I'm like, Kennard, Julius back here. Kennard said, what? I said, yeah, he back, Kennard. He like, where our money? I said, I don't know, Kennard. I'm about to find out. Vic told me, he said, Big Vic? I like, yeah, Big Vic. So yeah. So Julius Hall. Now I'm throwing this out. Huh?
Vic and Kennard, those were two our brothers. They've gone on to meet the Lord. But Vic told me that don't worry about giving Jamar nothing, because he didn't do the work. You know, you and Vic were supposed to be doing it together back then. You know, all y'all were out there at Savannah. Van Johnson was even out there. He used to hide in the office all the time and wouldn't come out. But Vic and you were supposed to, and Kanad, all y'all were supposed to do
Lord.
what y'all were supposed to do, and none of y'all did what y'all were supposed to do to promote that concert. And so my organization ended up paying the controllers $10,000 to come before they even showed up, and then $10,000 the day that they got there. And I think we only took in like $7,000, so we lost 13. So over those years, the amount so you do owe us a little bit over, I think $156,000 from what I understand with interest.
Okay, brother Julius Hall. Okay, we're gonna move on with regards to your prose right now. So as you all can tell, he's a great prose writer. Prose writing. So with regard to what are some of the things with regards to your book of poetry, the journey that you, so now I'll let y'all know, because y'all know we have Day Clean Journeys. Again, that's intellectual property that he stole. But we're gonna leave that alone. See, because we got multiple lawsuits. That was David Johnson Bozeman Law Firm, Atlanta, Savannah, and Statesboro. We got it. But then what is some of the poetry that that strikes you? Again, because we know because again, when a person is an artist, they have several things that they love. So again, sometimes they can't necessarily pick out one or two or three. So I'm just like, what are some of the things that you love? Pieces.
Well, if you look through his 86 poems through here, 86. It should be 87, but I had one stolen from me when I was in high school. It was called My Lady. Somebody borrowed it from me. Terry Lloyd Brown had borrowed that book, that poem from me, and I never got it back. And I tease her about that right now. The day she's Jewish, I didn't steal that poem. I said, Terry, you was the last person I let hold that poem in ninth grade, and she stole that poem, and I never got it back. So Terry, you got poem number 87. But anyway, it's 86 poems. Yeah, all y'all be in this book, all y'all. But it's 86 poems in here. I write about everything. I write about mostly I write about love. I'm a very caring person, and I write about love a whole lot. I write about experiences in my life. I write about the criminal justice system. I write about religion a lot also. And you can give me anything. And I'm gonna tell you a secret. Some of these poems I wrote for people, and all the poems that I've written I don't have in here because I wrote some that people didn't want me to have ownership of after I wrote it, because I used to charge them to write poetry for their girlfriends or their wives. Mm-hmm. And so those poems belonged to them once I wrote it. And I used to, I'm serious, I used to charge $150, $200 for a poem. Some of those poems I don't have today because of me giving those poems. So if you want to hear anything, you can tell me. I don't know whether you got you don't have the book of poetry in front of you, do you?
No, I don't. No.
Why don't you have the book of poetry in front of you if you're going to interview me about the book? You don't have the book of poetry in front of you.
Because that's why I cast it out to you to go and throw out. That's why I want the audience to hear. Just like I'm being like the audience. See, I'm just like you. Everyone look at the show. I'm just like you. So that's why I am.
Well, I'm gonna pick one to read for you. Which one you want to hear? You want to hear a love poem? You want to hear a poem? I even got one on not eating pork.
Give us a love poem. Give us a love poem.
Let me see. Let's go to number 31 since it's the first one up here. No, I got to find that. It's not on page 31 because it's not in order that way. And that's the thing. When you start reading, then you'll start reading and go through the whole book. So I got to find something.
So you're saying that Terry Mobley has stole the poem? That what you're saying, Terry Mobley?
I said Terry Lloyd. Terry Lloyd.
I could have sworn Terry Mobley signed in. I could have sworn I heard you going to say Terry Mobley.
I did not say Terry. I did not say Terry. Terry Mobley. But let's go with my darling Unita. Sorry I can't send you a card. Sorry I can't send you roses. Because for you, if I could, I would part the Red Sea like Moses. I'm sorry I can't get to you. I'm sorry I can't get home. But first chance I get, I'm going to take you to Rome. I've finally come to the conclusion that you are not an illusion. So I'm ready to live my life, but only with you as my wife. You're never weak, but always very strong. With you in my life, how can I go wrong? So wait a little while and I'll be back to give you everything in the world I know you'd like. I can't be there with you, but I pray I'm in your thoughts. To me, that is more important than anything I could have brought. If I didn't know before, I now know the meaning of love. It came to me through you, my snow white precious dove. Another way to tell you that is you that I love is that I want to be as close to you as 5 fingers in a glove. I hope that this poem can take the place of flowers. Regardless of that, I'll be thinking of you the next 24 hours.
So that was a Caucasian woman you wrote that to? I thought you wrote that
No.
to Dr. Tanya Howard Hall. That's what I had
No,
thought.
Tanya was nowhere around back then.
So
This
that
was
was to
Tanya-
a Caucasian
Tanya was-
woman that you wrote that to.
No, this
That's
is a
why
black
Terry
woman.
stole that poem. That's why Terry stole the poem. That's why Deidre Murray's checking us out too. So that's why, okay. Terry's just trying to do us a favor. Okay.
No, it's not. I didn't write any of that back then. I wrote a whole lot of stuff. There's 2 poems in here, 2 or 3 poems that my brother wrote, 2, I believe, and 1 my daughter wrote. 1 or 2 that my daughter wrote. That's in the book also. I know they probably want to sue me for putting their poetry in the book.
Hey, that's what I'm just leaning on right now. I guess it's true. I will refer 2 other people to Davis Johnson Bozeman Law Firm too. I'll got 2 other people. I'll let them know.
Well, you want to see? Let me give you one on. Somebody told me that they're starting a book club. Can these poems be recited in school classrooms? Don't say what you charge those people. IRS might want their share. Most of these poems can be recited in school classrooms, yes, because most of the poems are love, or either they're about religion or they're about the system. Yes, Jamar Torrey, you are messy. You right. You are so right. Thank you, Terry. Yes, but Jamar is messy. See, everybody knows that you are messy. Let me give you one that I wrote. I always had this Malcolm X syndrome, this Malcolm X complex. That soldier in me that always wanted to come out and fight. And I'd be sitting back and I see things happen across time, and I, want to always write something on it. This one is slavery, suffering, and death. You beat us up, you killed us, and you made our hearts ache. The more crude you be, the more we take. Then one day, we finally got tired. We stood together thinking your time had expired. You gave in here and you gave a little there, but still holding us down with more than we could bear. Little did we know it was just one of your tricks. It was like going to a party and getting slipped the mick. Of all the bridges we built, and the roads we've laid, for over 400 years, we've never gotten paid. How could any of this be deemed justified with all the black people that have died? Everything you said we had to obey, or you put a whip to our backs and have it your way. For years we cried, oh Lord, send us a guide. But every time God would send one, we'd run and hide. You brainwashed us into loving a white Jesus who was divine. And this is where I believe we lost our damn minds. I guess we would call it the era of lost hope, the era of lost sight, until along came Louis Farrakhan carrying the light. We were wrong not to fight when told to withhold. It's time for our hearts to grow hard and cold. We must stand as one, showing that enough is enough. We're not putting up with no more of this devil stuff. I guess I'm just one who will always complain because I'm not with the old cliche, no gain, no pain, no gain. You might call me crazy or you might call me bold, but I already know you must win to get the gold. You control all the money and nothing is made simple. Want to know more? Just read Secrets of the Temple. One thing's certain, in this white man's pursuit of wealth, blacks have only gotten slavery, suffering, and death.
Okay, Julius Hall. Okay. All right. We give you some kudos with regard to that. We give you some kudos.
That was February 4th, 1992 when I wrote that.
Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back with some hard hitting stuff, with regards to Run Tell That and Julius Hall. The book. We say the book, because again, no longer Midnight in the Garden Good and Evil. That's no longer be the one we call the book. But we gonna now know the book is Crossing the Line. And that is both versions, PG and also R-rated, because there's some lies in it, but we're going to leave that alone. But I'm just saying. So we're going to go to a commercial and come back to Run Tell That with Julius Hall, author Julius Hall, poet Julius Hall, right here. Oh, guess what I'm going to say? Guess what? I'm going to throw it out there right now. And he is the West Savannah Laureate. That's Julius Hall. The West Savannah Laureate. We're going to dub him that. We're going to dub him that. The West Savannah Laureate.
Okay. I'll be waiting to get my reward or my award. All right.
Back, Ron Tell That, and we have the president and co-founder of ATR, Our Black Media Network, again on YouTube, Roku Television, and also on Facebook Live. And that is Julius Hall. And Deidre Murray said that is all right. That is outstanding. That's the truth, Julius Hall. So again, everybody's checking it out. Julius Hall, the author, the writer, and the West Savannah Laureates. So again, I ain't giving up no money and nothing like that. I'm just saying, I'm not putting out, just give you a title. I'm just saying, if you want to use that, you can go and use that. I'm just saying, I'm freely giving that to you to go ahead. If you want to say, I'm the West Savannah Laureate. So with regard to that, that's cool. I'm just throwing it out there. So poetry, why is poetry important?
Well, poetry tells a story. When you don't want to, some people just say what they want to say and they don't know how to express it. It is times when I've said what I want to say, but then I felt compelled to put it in stanzas to express my story where it would always be told, and that I might say something to you and we don't remember any of it 5 years from now. But if I write it down, then I can always go back and tell you what I was thinking at that point or at that particular time.
Okay. All right. And with regards to this, what are the things that touched you with regards to some of the people reading your poetry? And what were some of the reactions with regards to some people who read your poetry?
You said what were the reactions to?
Some of the reactions. What are some of the reactions that you got from people who read your poetry or heard your poetry when they've gotten the books? Because people want to do some book parties and other stuff like that, with regards to crossing the line, but not with regard to the poetry. You want to find out with regard to that.
Well, to be perfectly honest, the poetry book is just as good as the autobiography, because this is a lifetime work. This is a lifetime read of my life story, but this is a lifetime work here. And my engineer is over here, my goddaughter, she over here, and she listening to the 2 poems I read. And she said, "Oh man, that was good. I gotta read your poetry. I like that." See, she's never taken the time to look into to that. You know what I'm saying? She was telling me that during the break. But when I write what I feel, I write from my heart. A lot of my poems I write in a what you call it? I write poetry that rhymes. I do have poetry here that's just telling a story instead of poetry. I try to. It's like the rap songs. You hear all the rap songs, they rhyme. Everything is one line after the other. All my poetry, some of the poetry, especially the love poems, could be made out of songs. And I wanted that to happen. That's what one of my dreams was, to have somebody like back then it was Gerald Levert, but right now I would love somebody like Maxwell to sing my songs. I used to want Gerald Levert to sing my songs, but Gerald died. But I used to always say, hey, I'm gonna put my poetry to music. And that's one of the things that I hate that I didn't do while I had 21 years to think about, was that I wish I would have learned how to play different instruments, and if I had learned how to play different instruments, I could have wrote the music to the lyrics, and because it was, and believe me, I was in the music room one day, because again, they got music room, bands room. Federal prison is different than prison that you see on TV. It's totally different. It's a totally different atmosphere. It's like night and day. And you have so many amenities in federal prison. And I was in federal prison. And I walked in, and I promise you, I walked in the music. I was outside the music room, and I heard this song being played. And it was so deep that it drew me to the music room to go inside. And I opened the door and went inside. And there was this young kid in there playing it, and he knew how to play the piano. And he was in there playing a song that he had wrote. And it was, I believe me, it was the most deepest song I have ever heard in my life. I'm talking about, it was really, really gripping. It really touched me to hear this young man play that song. I don't know where he's at or what. Here, take that from me and find out what she wants.
Hello.
And so it was really gripping to hear that song, and to I want to help this guy to I think he was in there for carjacking. So he was like 20 something, but he had like 66 years for carjacking. But the song was so deep. I'm talking, it was a deep song. And I loved it. But I say that to say I ran across so many talented people while I was in there. I'm going to write, it's going to be a 5th book also. The 3rd book is coming up. I've already started to write it. And the 4th book, well, it's going to be the 4th book. The 4th book is going to be a collaboration of me and guys that I've met over the course of the years with their short stories and poems. Because I've met some very talented guys. I'm talking about some very, very, very talented people, and that the world doesn't know that they exist. And I want to bring them to the world. That'd probably be another part of what we do at ATR Media. So you have a whole lot to do because we need a publishing part so young people can tell their stories, young people can write their stories, and we can publish those stories that of people that nobody's ever heard of. I've read some great stories in prison, and I've ran across some guys that were just some awesome talents, you know.
Okay. And so Bernard Brown is checking out the show. Bernard Brown, you came to the show late, but guess what? There's going to be a Lifetime movie or a Tubi movie that Vivica Fox is going to be producing. And so Bernard Brown, it has been determined that Morgan Freeman will portray you. Morgan Freeman will portray Bernard Brown in the Tubi movie or the Lifetime movie with regards to Crossing Lines. Bernard Brown, you and Morgan Freeman look just alike. Yes.
He said he's going to sing all the poems.
That's what he said. He can't sing. He can't sing, but we're not even sweating that with him. So again, he's going to be portrayed by Morgan Freeman. I'm looking forward to that right there. So now there's another element we want to get into with regards to this. Some people feel that, hey, I want to write, but then I don't have the machine in place for me to do that. I don't have the machine in place. I don't have the agent. I don't have the literary agent. I don't know where to go and how to get started with regards to this. So what do you suggest to the person? What advice can you give to that person out there who's checking out the show right now, who, again, they have the desire. They like, and you've inspired them, but they're like, I don't have an agent. I don't have a manager. I don't have a literary agent. I don't have a machine behind me to go and push this. I don't know what to do. How can I get published? What can I do?
Well, all I can tell them is don't quit. Like I said, I've had my poetry with me for over 40 years. I've had, I wrote this 13 years ago. 13 years ago, I wrote this. I only went back in to change the names. I didn't want to change the story. I was being lazy anyway. It's a few mistakes in here that I didn't go and do the editing. So just do what you do and try to put it out. You don't want to put some very flawed stuff. This is flawed in both of the books because I didn't have the money to pay a person to sit back and make sure that everything was done properly. I had a person, the book author, Natriel Powers. She's awesome. She helped me with everything to get it to where I got it on Amazon. I'm going to be doing in the next couple of weeks, probably when I get time, things slow down a little bit. I'll be doing the audio version of it, of both books. So I'll do that later on, but that takes a lot of time. Or you could pay somebody to do it also. So we'll see whether I pay somebody to put it on audio. But I'll tell that person that wants to write is to just start writing. Just start putting your story on paper. If you can't write, then you might want to, or you're too lazy to write, then get your mic, a voice recorder. Mic, what's it called? A recorder, dictate machine, and just talk it all out. I started doing both. I had somebody come in to write in the book with me, Sandra McKeithen, and because she had wrote a book or two herself, and she started. And when she started, 2 weeks later, she moved to Houston. She started, she was taping everything I was telling her about, books, everything. And I'd already wrote it. I'd already written it. And she wanted to get other stuff to put in the book to make it right for everything that was in the book. So she was getting my story. And so, but all that fell apart. And so I just went with what I had. Now, book 2 of this autobiography, it'll be a little different because I've already started to write it, and I can take my time and do it right. I did this poem in less than 70 days 13 years ago, and I had nothing but time to sit and write. And writing is a task. You put down what you want and what you're thinking on paper. So it's really a task to hold those memories or hold those thoughts that you want to put on paper and get it down right.
All right. And my brother Jack Salas, he can sing. He can sing. So that's why we're going to let him be the one to sing the poetry. Bernard Brown, why you always got to copy us? Bernard Brown, why? Why must you always copy us? And no, it had been determined that Lorenz Tate will be me, or also, again, it'd be Tiger Woods. So again, Bernard Brown, you out of luck with regards to Morgan Freeman will be you. You will be portrayed by Morgan Freeman. Yes, Bernard Brown. So
Bernard, he said that my next stop is one-on-one with America at the Dark Unfiltered. Bernard, I didn't even know I was on this show today. I got a call, my agent calling me, telling me that you were on Run Tell That today. I said, no, I didn't know I was on Run Tell That. I know he got a show today, and he was talking about the good Garden and Eden or something, good Midnight in the Garden of Evil or whatever, Eden. And I said, I know about that book, and then I didn't know that I was on this show, Bernard. So just make sure you book me a days ahead of time so that I won't say that there's a conflict with my schedule.
Well, as has been determined, I am still owed monies for, again, what we know is Free Incorporated. And I'm willing to work with him on that. And that's what I've allowed to happen. And so with all of that, Bernard Brown, guess what? Cut right now. His agent just sent me a message saying that he will not be on your show. So that's out of the question right now. So that's not about to happen. Go ahead and run a repeat on America After Dark. But again, my brother Jack Salas will be the one. That's right. It's a repeat for America After Dark this weekend right here. And so Julius Hall, how can people acquire the book? How can people acquire the book?
You can acquire the book by going to Amazon, but I'd rather you not go to Amazon. But if you want to, you can go to Amazon. Amazon cheats I wouldn't say they cheat because you know what they're doing. So they take advantage then, let's say that. Amazon takes advantage of writers and they take the majority of what the book costs. So if the book costs $20, I'm only going to get $5 and something out of this book. They get $15 for printing, shipping, and their handling fees and everything. So this book, the $20 book for poetry cost from Amazon, I only get $5. So I get more, even though I have to buy the books myself and have them printed and all. I get a few dollars more by selling it myself. And so if you want the book, you can get in contact with me if you know my number or anything at Our Black Media or ATR Consulting. ATR Consulting 912@gmail.com. That's the email. ATR Consulting 912@gmail.com. Or we're going to be changing the website pretty soon because we're going to go on a massive marketing campaign for the book, for the website, for our magazines. We got a Roku channel. We're the only people in this area with our own Roku channel. We have our own Roku channel at Our Black Media. You can go on your Roku TV anywhere in the world and program our shows, our channel into your TV and make it one of your channels. And then you just flip on and look at us at any time. Our shows are only in rerun on Roku TV right now, but it is there. We like this show will be downloaded in a couple of days and it'll be available on the Roku channel. You can go to YouTube, all social media platforms and get it. Our shows. We are going to have a digital radio station after a while, hopefully before the summer. Hot 2100 Savannah. We'll have that here in Savannah. We're doing a whole lot in media. We're not there yet. We aren't making any money. We're losing money, but that's what it entails. You have to have a dream. BET had a dream doing what he did, and now he's a billionaire. And our dream is not far off from that. We just got to keep striking the stone, and that's what we do. I appreciate everybody. You, Bernard, Robert, Sandra, Charlie Brown, my producer over here, and my other producer, it's a whole lot of us that make what happens happen on this platform, and I appreciate everybody. We are a team, and everything will be, if there's ever any reward, then everybody will get a part of the reward. But anyway, you can go to ATR Media Group, www.ATR Media Group, and get the book. www.ATR Media Group and get the book.
And what's the titles? What's the name of the books?
The book is my book of poetry is The Journey, and my autobiography is Crossing the Line, the Julius Hall story. All right.
Yes, sir. And we want y'all to see this right here. Julius Hall crossed the line. He crossed the line, and he left Tompkins High School at HBJ. Y'all see the HBJ jacket right here with the book right there. Julius Hall, Reverend Betty Jones, Deidre Murray, Terry Marvin. Guess what? Jack Simons. He now fought at HBJ. He fought at HBJ. And this has been the end of Run Tell That. Mr. Producer, end the show right now. End the show right now, Mr. Producer. Mr. Producer, end the show. Cut. We see y'all next week. Julius Hall, HBJ, H on Eastern Red Avenue. Y'all see it right there. That's right. Y'all see? There used to be a Tonkin little blue cat right there. You see the book right there? That's right. That's right. Julius Hall.
They gave me an honorary. They gave me an honorary jacket.
Mute him. Oh, wait. I can mute him myself. I can go and mute him. All right. So, Mr. Producer, we ended the show. This has been Run Tell That. Julius Hall. That's right.
Good night, everybody.
Like this.